Welcome back, Kitchen Table Wargamers. Today's battle report is going to be a fun one. We are playing the Grey Knights against not demons, but the Thousand Suns. Yes, but we're playing a fun game. This is going to be open war. It is 2,000 points, so we don't know the mission, deployment, or objectives just yet. But these are our warlords. I'm running my Paladin Ancient today as my warlord, and then Patrick is running the Demon Prince with Wings as his warlord in his Thousand Suns list. So we will show you the armies next. Alright folks, here we are with our 2,000 points of Thousand Suns. Be kind on the paint. They're painted-ish, right? There's some paint, there's some fun, there's some gray. It's fine. It's all good. This is a funsy game. We're going to have a good time. Yeah, some of them are going to blend right in with our buildings.
With Grey Knights.
Yeah, oh, he's trying to... No, you can't. No, sir. Nope. We might have to stop, rewind. It's all right. So we have one patrol. This guy does not actually have the wings points-wise, and he's leading one squad of rubrics. But both the patrol and battalion are Cult of Magic. The Cult of Magic special is they get almost, it's like a baby Vortex of Doom for Grey Knights players, but it can do D3 on the unit that it targets, and then it splashes within 3 inches of them, gets a mortal wound. And you said the Warlord trait gives them the ability to reroll something? Is that what that was?
Yeah, the Warlord trait is actually giving the Exalted Sorcerer the ability to reroll.
Okay.
But the Warlord trait that the Sword guy is carrying...
That'd be this one. He's the actual Warlord, as you saw earlier, with wings.
He's carrying a 2-up save instead of his normal 3-up.
Spicy. Is that the some weird plate thing?
Yeah.
All right, cool. And this guy is the Warlord. He is rocking around with all the rest of the troops. So there's rubrics. We've got a big bunch of 9 Flamer rubrics. I'm not happy about them. Then there's a squad back here of 5 Scarab. 5 more Scarab on this side. We got some Zangors over here. The Infernal Master, the Exalted Sorcerer. We already mentioned he has a Warlord trait. My friend Patrick here has spent many points on relics and Warlord traits just for funsies because, again, we're having a good time. We're playing with beasties and models, and it should be kind of hilarious. Forge Fiend back here, does he have all 3 with the Ectoplasma?
No, he's carrying 2 Ectoplasmas, and then he's carrying his little jaw just in case you get in close combat with him.
In case I don't kill him outright because he's ugly and I don't like him.
Yep.
2 squads of the Chaos Spawn. These guys are fantastic. I discovered they hit really hard if you don't kill them before they hit you. And then melee. Yeah, that was exciting. Okay. Any other crazy Warlord traits or relics that we need to hit on these guys?
Infernal Master is carrying a Warlord trait that allows him to roll an additional D6 and discard any D6 within that roll for psychic tests.
No, that's cute.
The Exalted Sorcerer has a Etherian Scroll, which also allows him to roll another D6 and discard a D6 in his psychic test.
Cool. So both of them are casting on 3d6 and discarding the lowest. Yeah. Wow. Or
on
picking
one
which
psychic
one to get
power,
rid of.
though.
Oh, only on one. Okay. Cool.
The Exalted Sorcerer can do it for any psychic action.
Okay.
But the Infernal Master can do it, but the Exalted Sorcerer and the once per battle, I get to choose the psychic power. Or in your psychic phase, I get to choose the psychic power. Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. That'll be saucy.
And he's a Legion commander that's actually casting 3 psychic powers instead of just 2.
Oh, excellent. More chances for you to goop perils on yourself and die. That's what I'm hoping for. I'll watch the game. Never mind. That would be totally off topic. Just perils-wise, it was funny. Anything else crazy in here? There's a lot of bodies for the Thousand Suns here.
That's about all. They're going to be doing a lot. Actually, the Warlord isn't. It's not. He's carrying a relic, which is the Covenant Plate. His actual Warlord trait is Undying Form, which subtracts 1 damage from the characteristic of attack.
So he's going to be hard to get rid of, is what that is.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty nifty. Alrighty. Well, this will be fun. This is 2,000 points. You'll get a good chuckle when you see the comparison in army size when you see the Grey Knights in a second. It could be a reckoning, my friends. It could be a reckoning. But we're having fun. So we'll be back in a second to take a look at the Grey Knights. All right. Here is my 2,000 points of Grey Knights. Yes, that's it. That's all of them. Yes, it's also Terminator bodies because it's a fun game and nobody plays them because honestly the Terminators are not the greatest thing in the world in the Grey Knight Codex. So we're going to give them a go and just have a good time. So we're starting off with all the characters. There's a bunch. Paladin Ancient is the Warlord. He has the OBSEC aura within 6 inches of himself in the regular banner. He does have the relic for the it's -1 damage, I think, and he can shrug mortals on a 4-up. Cantu Vambrace, I think is what it's called. This dude's going to be rocking around as a brother captain for the reroll 1s to wound. This is Mr. the Drago because Drago's cool. The Tech Marine to give the +1 to hit to vehicles and repair vehicles. I don't believe I gave him any relics or anything like that. And then this guy is going to be a Grandmaster. Yes, that's the old Stern model. I realized I didn't have a Grandmaster model readily available with a Stormbolter, so Stern becomes the Grandmaster for this game and gets to jump into the fun. Then we have 2 squads of 5 Terminators. Those are my OBSEC, they're my troops. We've got 10 Paladins back here. 4 of them have the Psy Cannons, and the rest they're all WYSIWYG, so the rest are just Stormbolters and mostly Halberds. There are a couple of dudes with Falchions over here. I do have 1 Venerable Dreadnought with the Assault Cannon, Stormbolter, and the Combat Arm. I have stolen I think it's actually a Blood Angel's combat weapon, but that's okay, don't tell anybody. I painted it to become Grey Knight, so it's all good. I think this actually is a Libby Dread. If you know your Blood Angel's Dreadnoughts, then you can probably yell at me. I'll get over it. And then we've got the Land Raider, because nobody uses Land Raiders either. So I'm bringing things nobody wants to play with right now, because it's a fun time. I do not actually have the Hunter Killer Missile in my points, but I had glued that on whenever I made this long ago before I knew the magic of magnets. So ignore the Hunter Killer Missile. And that's it. It's exactly 2,000 points. I'm running 2 patrols. That's how I'm getting all the characters. And it is actually, both are going to be rapiers. I just like the melee potential more with that. No sword bearers because there's only 2 vehicles. So that'll be it. It'll be a good time. It'll be very interesting. I'm hoping that I can make auras, reroll 1s to wound and the reroll 1s to hit, and the extra attacks with the ancient. All of that stuff I'm hoping I can kind of stack up and make it at least a fun, useful game. And we'll have a good time either way. So we'll be back next to show you the mission. Open war is going to be cards, so we'll find out in a minute what we're playing. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are, the battlefield. It is ready for the rocking and the rolling. So, the way this game works, cards are fun. There's an objective there, that would be mine. There's one dead in the center, that would be his. There's one back there underneath all of the Zangors. In my, I guess it's command phase, we'll double check that in a minute. If I hold this one back here in mine, I get a point. That one is worth 2 points. His is worth 3 points for me, and it's the opposite for Patrick. So he's holding that one, he'll get the 1, this one will be 2, and then mine would be 3 for him. So that part, you know, not crazy, but then, here's the deployment zones that we rolled up. So I'm in the back corner. It looks like we did that opposite. Look, if you flip this over, it's still opposite. Doesn't matter. Whatever. We're in triangles. I just measured down the middle the wrong way around. Standoff is the name of the mission. And then there's the twist. Look at that. Subtract 1 from the strength of attacks if the target is more than 18 inches away. So las cannons, yes, I have some of those. And ectoplasmic stupid guns, he has some of those, are now going to be much less, well, not much less, but they are less strengthful than they used to be. Kind of interesting, I would say. Now, how I've deployed Terminators here, there's 5 inside the Land Raider. The Ancient is by himself. He's not on the 2nd floor. He's down in the corner because the corner of this building has no windows, so he's completely blocked from line of sight. If you're very observant, you will note that if I go real fast with advance rolls, I'm getting him towards the middle as fast as I can to try to hold that because he's an OBSEC, because why not? Over here, we've got a Grandmaster and a Dreadnought in the back corner behind the Terminators, Tech Marine, Land Raider, Drago, 10 Paladins, and Bro Capitan is over there in that corner. Mr. the Patrick has flooded the boards with all kinds of stuff. These rubrics, spending a commandular point, have decided to pop up in all of their flamer goodness right here near my paladin lines. That's cute. I'm really hoping to go first now. The 2 squads of Spawn are back there. There is an Exalted Sorcerer and a not Infernal Master. Rubrics, Forge Fiend. There's the Infernal Master. There's the Rubrics. Zangors. More Rubrics around the corner. The Warlord Demon Prince with the wings. More Rubrics. And the Demon Prince with no wings. Just pretend those white things are there in shadow form only. And you might ask, where are the delightful Scarab Occult Terminators? Oh, they're in Deep Strike. So, yeah, I have to worry about them dropping in at some point in the game, messing with whatever plans I have for my very few bodies. So this is going to be a good time. We're going to have some fun with this game. It's going to be kind of wild and crazy. I think all that we have left to do is the roll-off. Oh, by the way, I have 10 command points. Patrick has 5 command points after doing his shenanigans with these guys. So, Patrick, be my guest. Roll. Please roll a 1, a 3. I have a chance. I have rolled a 1. I have no chance. It's going to be one of those games, folks. It's going to be one of those games. Are you ready to see all of his might bounce off of my paladin lines? I'm ready for it. I hope you're ready for it. We'll be back after the Thousand Suns turn 1. Alrighty, we're done with the first turn. So here's what happened. Lots of things, doing lots of psychic stuff. Really what it was, I guess it wasn't lots of psychic stuff. This guy right here, the Exalted Sorcerer, back there behind the building, cast this cool, like, Astral Blast spell, spent Cabal points to go from this squad's line of sight, which is so janky, into my paladins, which were able to shrug 2 of the 3 or 4 mortal wounds they took from it. So I had 1 hurt paladin. Brother Captain failed to shrug the 1 splash wound, and Mr. the Drago back there, because he's a man, he shrugged, because, you know, duh. He then did another extra wound. It was kind of annoying, but I shrugged 1 of those anyway. I don't know. The Cabal points were being spent and all this shenaniganizing stuff. Then these guys cast something which I failed to deny. What did they cast?
Gaze of Hate.
Oh yeah, Gaze of Hate, and
But you shrugged it.
I ignored it, which didn't bother me in the end because I ignored it. But that was the only thing I could actually try to deny, and I didn't. And I was very sad because he rolled an 11 with a +1, so he had a 12. If I'd rolled natural 12, I could have denied it, but I rolled a 10. It's close. These guys then cast a silly buffing spell to make these Strength 5 Flamers, which actually did some work. I was so relieved that I had some boys stuck in this building because their cover save meant that I took, what was it? We did the math. It was 16 wounds, and I lost 3 paladins. So I actually only lost 7 wounds, sorry, because 1 guy was on 1, and then 2 more healthy paladins. So I was not able to fail morale, thank goodness, because that's been a big downfall for me with these boys, is they'll fail morale sometimes when you lose a lot of them. And that's it. So the turn is ended. Yeah, he didn't move out a whole lot. He's being kind of cagey, and I'm going to have to come out there and make a play. Now, with this mission, he did score 1 point, folks, because he didn't leave and abandon his back objective. Good play, sir, good play. And that's it. That is the end. We will be back in a minute for Grey Knights turn 1. All right, turn 1 is done. This was a fascinating psychic phase, and I did not like it very much. The paladins on 12 heralds and cast Hammerhand on themselves. Wow, well done them. And then they only shrugged 2 of the 3 mortal wounds, so I didn't lose the dude, but he's hurt. The captain then cast a smite into the rubric squad that was here, and he cast it on a 12 also, and took 2 mortal wounds and didn't shrug either of them, so he's down to 3. No, 2. Right, correct, that's math. But we did 6 damage in the D6 super smite. I was magnificent. I was proud of them. Then we did the shoe sting into this squad of rubrics, killed all but 2. I'm wishing they had morale, but they don't, so that's cute. Then the only other thing that I was able to cast, this irked me to no end, was Sanctuary from the Tech Marine onto this Land Raider. I had to re-roll because he failed the spell. He only cast on a 3. I had to re-roll it. Then what does I do? I goes to Mr. the Drago because my plan was great. He spent a command point to get 3d6 and then discard the lowest. He failed Gate. I'd already done a reroll. Even with 3 dice, he failed Gate. This was going into the middle, so I could then plop it down, and then it would be objective secure because this guy was there. And then whenever they killed the Land Raider eventually, it would explode, and there would be Terminators that would pop out, and they would be objective secured, and it was going to be this beautiful plan. But he couldn't cast Gate of Infinity. Then I went for a Smite, because why not? No, Vortex of Doom. Still having the 3d6 cast. He failed that as well. Peanut. I was so disappointed. This guy failed his psychic test. Back here, the Dreadnought failed its psychic test to try to cast Armored Resilience. And then the Grandmaster back there was out of range to do anything, and I'd already used Gate, which was his one spell, and Sanctuary, which was his other spell. And I sat there just feeling real bad about things. So, to make myself feel better, my Land Raider with the +1 to hit, thanks to the Tech Marine. Just one shot at the Forge Fiend. That was cool. 4 las cannons hit, 4 las cannon wounds, and he didn't save any, and he did 20-something damage. That was beautiful for me. These guys, I already mentioned, almost killed them. And then we made our charges and wiped up this Rubric squad. So we got rid of 1 half-ish Rubric Marine squads. We did wound the painted Rubrics that are coming around the corner back there. That squad took a wounding, but that was it.
No, one died.
Oh, 1 died. That's right. Yeah, it's even better than that. So that's it. So we're tied up 1-1 at the end of turn 1. Going into Thousand Suns, turn 2. There's going to be a lot of mulching happening. All the Chaos Spawn in the world are coming around here, and the Paladins are going to have a good time. Yeah, there's a few things I'm a little salty about after that Psychic phase, and the rest of it we'll just have to see how it plays out. So, we'll be back. Thousand Suns, turn 2. Alright, the end of Thousand Suns, turn 2. So Zangor's back there, spread out a little bit. He realized he left a really big pocket for deep striking and Gate of Infinity-ing. Even though my Psychic phase was trash last turn, he's still wisely protected. Over here, Terminators, Scarab Occult, that's the ones. They came down like a blizzard. So there's a bunch over there. There were a bunch down there off to the side, but they made a big old 9-inch charge. Demon Prince back there wasn't quite close enough to charge in, but the Demon Prince with the wings, he made a magnificent charge across the whole mess into the backside to smack my Grandmaster in the back. My Grandmaster only took 2 wounds. He's a boss. I did have to CP 1, but I mean, still, that was magnificent because Demon Princes ain't no joke. And he only got over there because of, what was it, Temporal Surge? Yeah. That allowed him to double move and then all that jazz coming from the Infernal Master. So that was saucy. My Venerable Dreadnought used to be standing right there. He tanked Scarab Occult, Rubric, and Rubric. I used Smoke Screen for 1 CP, and it helped, and being Toughness 7 helped, and he used his Venerable saves like 3 times and saved stuff, so proud of him. He was excellent. Required the charging, and then he died ingloriously in combat. So that's 2 games now that I've played against this particular Thousand Suns player and lost my Dreadnought for no reason. But I mean, he did protect my dude from a lot of shooting, so there's that. Over here, a couple of little shots kind of dinked in over here, but a lot of mortal wounding happened. I lost 3? No, I lost 2 from mortal wounds alone. I think I lost 1 in melee. And then my captain intervened over here just to give him options because the spawn were here. And I didn't want him to just pick apart all these guys, so I spent a lot more command points. Put True Silver Armor on them again. I spent the Rapier's strat on them. And with all of those things done, and Chapter Master still from Drago, was able to kill both units of spawns with these 4 that remained. So that was yay, something good happened. Because, yeah, I'm hoping for a real Psychic phase this turn. But, funny way this little mission works, still not holding the center objective over there, and we're both still sitting on our own objectives. So now the score is 2-1. That's it. 2 points, 1 point. But he's winning. It's about to be Grey Knights. Turn 2, and I'm going to make a comeback. Are y'all ready? You ready for this? This is going to be exciting. It's going to be glorious. We'll be back in a minute for the Grey Knights. Turn 2. Alright, folks. We're making a game out of this as Grey Knights. We're trying. We cast some Psychic stuff this time, which was useful. These guys were unable to get Hammerhand. It was denied, I believe. So that was rude. But they didn't need it. They were able to charge these two guys here and kill them. We were able to shoot this dude and kill him. So that was cute. I like that. Mr. the Ancient over here, who I'm impressed with him for still being around, made a 3-inch move through the dense terrain. That's how we're playing these. They're dense cover like forest or trees. And then he rolled like a 5 on his advance. So he got enough movement to get out to be within 3 of that objective. So that is now mine. And he's objective secured. That's English. You'll notice, potentially, that there's a squad of rubric missing over there. Yep, Mr. the Land Raider did that like a boss. He just threw them because they were the ones closest to getting to the objective, so I wanted them dead. I actually intended to gate this squad of paladins over to the middle here into the objective because they would have been able to land right about here, and they would have been on the objective and obsec from him. Didn't matter in this case. The spell went off. Drago actually cast it, but then it got denied. And Drago did do a smite into a rubric over there, but I think that only did 1 wound, so it was kind of lacking in excitement there. Back here, we shuffled around to get shots onto the Demon Prince, and then I chose to try to use Gate of Infinity from Drago on the Paladins and left the Grandmaster there. Because the psychic mortal wound stuff was kind of fun, because I did take 3 off of him with a super smite from my Terminator squad back here. They rolled an 11. So we took 3 wounds off of him from that, and then the Grandmaster did like 1 more wound, so he's down to 4, I believe. But then the Grandmaster just died like a chump. Failed all but 1 save. It was pretty bad. So Grandmaster's dead, Captain's dead. I've lost half my Terminator, or half my Paladins, maybe a little more than that, and my Dreadnought. But we're still hanging around, and I'm happy about that. I'm proud of these boys. So, holding this one gives me 2, holding my own gives me 1, so I got 3 points this turn, so I've just jumped up in points, but now I've got an angry Demon Prince over there to worry about. These guys are going to not be an issue real soon because they're kind of slow moving, but yeah, it's getting saucy. So we'll be back for Thousand Suns turn 3 next. Alright guys and gals, it is the end of turn 3 for the Thousand Suns. Mr. the Demon Prince. He did what Demon Princes do. He flew his happy self down here and he mulched through a bunch of Terminators. Almost survived. I used my last command point to reroll a save. It didn't work. That's okay, because then he piled into my big boy with his arms, and we nearly forgot his cool rules that he can only make half of whatever attacks he has against him because of his scary armor stuff. But I got 1 servo arm to go through, and that servo arm took 3 wounds off of him. He's sitting here on 1. So excited, and I was all ready to use my axe and kill him, and then realized I could only make those 2 attacks, and I got a little less excited. Over here, these boys are doing their slow march towards everything in the middle. My Paladin Ancient bore the brunt of all of the psychic shenanigans. Only 1 spell got through on him, and it did take him down to quite a few wounds. Then he got shot, and then he had 1 wound left. The Demon Prince obviously made this charge. The Rubrics failed their charge because of dense terrain, -2, etc. But the Demon Prince made it, so it didn't matter. Killed him pretty easily. Back over here, and these fellas are doing their slow march. They're just hanging out back there. Over here, the Infernal Master got backwards a little bit to go to that objective. The Zangors moved forward, almost failed. They really, it was 2.8 inches away from these guys, and they rolled a 2. It was magnificent. So only 4 of them were able to hit my Paladins. Took some wounds, down to 2 and a third Paladin left, but we were able to kill 7 of them. So that was a fair trade for me. And if Thousand Suns have morale, the Zangors have morale, don't they? I don't remember. We'll look it up. I feel like they might not get the Thousand Suns shenanigan, but they might. Who knows? We'll figure that out, and we'll come back. And the Grey Knights.
They have morale.
Yeah, they do? All right, so that last guy, he's probably going to run away, because I don't think there's any way to not fail it. Unless he rolls a 1. No, he rolled a 2. That guy's dead. All right, so there's the end of that story. And we'll come back for the Grey Knights turn 3. But Patrick does hold the center objective for 2, his own for 1, which means that he is up by a point now. Scored 3 points this turn. It's my turn to do some work. There's some scary things over there. and back there. And then there's this mess in the middle. And then we got homeboy back here that we need to get rid of. So it'll be interesting to see what we can do. But we're going to have some fun with this. And we'll be back for Grey Knight's turn 3 in a minute. Oh, hold on. Here we go. I've got the end of Grey Knight's turn 3. Over here, we got a smite off. By the hair of our chinny chin chins, we got a smite. Killed the Demon Prince. So I was pretty proud of that. Over here, we disembarked. We were within an inch, barely fit in this little canyon area outside of an inch of the Demon Prince, but they did. They disembarked through many smitings and other things. Vortex of Doom from Drago. We dropped the Demon Prince down to 4 wounds, charged him, killed him in melee. We killed a whole bunch of rubrics with shooting from the Land Raider and the Paladins. But of course, there's no morale for those guys. These dudes, I tried. I really did. They got hammer hand off, but then they failed their charge. Would have been the game winner if they'd have made that. And right now, as it stands, it's close. His next turn, Patrick, if he can't clear them off, possibly doesn't win, because that's 2 points for me. I don't know. It's dicey. But it is dice. It's a dice game. So we'll see what happens. It's nice and close. I'm up by like a point right now. So we'll be back. Thousand Suns, turn 4 is next. All right, it's the end of the Thousand Suns, turn 4. So the Scarabs over here, they shuffled back there. These guys came up to right within the barricade there. Those dudes stayed put because they're getting a lot of protection from the -1 to hit at them when I shot at them. It was good times. All the shooting from the Thousand Suns who were left came into these Terminators and killed 1, I think. Yes, 2 up saves are good. And some Psychic Shenanigans, and that was it. Psychic Shenanigans over here did kill my last Paladin, so I had 2 guys left over there. They made their charge, killed 2 of my Terminators, and then I killed 2 of his Terminators. So we ended that there, however, mine are OBSEC and his are not. So I still held that point. So what would happen next? We're kind of talking about it. My Paladins were going to move up here. They would make a charge, hopefully, unless I rolled like Snake Eyes, which Patrick did a lot in his charge phase. So they would theoretically charge there. We would take that down and hold that objective. So you score these at the end of your turn. So I would have picked up 3 for that one, 2 for the middle, and then 1 for holding my own. Drago would have moved up. He would have made a charge into these guys. We would have psychicked. Then the Land Raider would have done all the shooting into those rubrics to try to remove their threat of OBSEC and whatever's left over into those guys. If we could have any left over, I don't know. And the Scarabs wouldn't be able to come down here. They could go that way and make a play for my Paladins, and they probably would win that. And so they could take that back. So in the next turn, Patrick could probably score 1 more point for that one. There's really not any way, unless the dice just completely fell apart, that he would take this back and prevent me from scoring 2 in my turn and the following turn. So really in the points, it ended up becoming a game where he wasn't going to catch up to the Grey Knights point-wise. He still has more bodies, technically, than I do. And, you know, the Land Raider doesn't count because the Ancient's dead. So, I mean, It's funny, he's got a lot left on the board, but because of how I had screened, he couldn't bring the Scarab Occult down in a place where they could really threaten back here, where I had weaknesses and holes. His Demon Prince coming around here, cleaning out all my Terminators. I was real afraid that this either was going to fail the cast, or that it would be denied, and then I wouldn't have killed that Demon Prince, and that would have wrecked all the rest of the back. Like, this would have screwed up everything back here. So there was a couple of times where the dice, I got super lucky, and he did not, and vice versa. But in this case, that, I think, Demon Prince back there dying to a smite probably finished off the game. So, I mean, it was super fun. Super fun game. It was fun to play with things that people don't bring to competitive games. Like the Terminators, I had fun with my Terminators. They did work. His Terminators did work. But I could.
Princes did work.
Yeah, his Demon Princes did a ton of work. His one Demon Prince just really wrecked that whole half of the board over there. I mean, it was cool. The Paladins, man, those guys were actually pretty boss. They did some work in this game too. So I had a lot of fun. I might try to bring Paladins in my regular list after having played this game, just because they're wicked fun. Land Raider actually did a ton of work shooting. I was impressed. Didn't do much else, but he did a lot of work in shooting, and he lost 2 wounds. Both to that Astral Blast silliness where the mortal wound splashed over. That was crazy. Yeah. So that was a cool game. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for coming over. Do you have anybody that you would shout out for your MVP on your army there, sir?
He's dead already.
Well, yeah, but
it's definitely my Demon Prince.
Yeah, the Demon Prince, the Warlord Demon Prince was...
The Warlord Demon Prince and the Exalted Sorcerer.
Oh, yeah. This Exalted Sorcerer, he threw out...
He was throwing out smites.
9-10 mortal wounds a turn. That was rough. I shrugged a lot in the first turn. The second turn, he killed like 2 paladins on his own, I think, with his mortal wound output. So, yeah, that dude was fun. I feel like my Paladin squad had to take
the biggest disappointment was
MVP
definitely my Forge Fiend that got taken turn 1.
Yeah, that Forge Fiend that was right there, and my las cannons just reach out and tickled him real pretty.
Because 48 inches beats out 36.
It beats 36. Man, that was saucy. I liked that. That made me feel good. That was the first time I've had all 4 hits and all 4 wounds on a las cannon from my Land Raider in like 2 years. And so it was like, yes! And then I was excited because he only had a 5-up save because most things I shot at those days had like, a 2+ save. So even my AP, they were like, oh yeah, I still got this. It's fine. That made me feel real good. I appreciate that. It was very kind of you, sir.
It wasn't on purpose.
No. It was all in the dices. Well, anyways, it's been a fun game. Hope y'all enjoy this. Open war missions are fun and weird. The final score was 7-6, where we stopped. So that's the scoring for open war. It's super random. A lot of fun though.
Do this again.
Yes, we'll have to do this again. It was really cool. Hope y'all enjoyed it, and yeah, we'll catch you next time on Kitchen Table Wargaming.